Hey y'all, I'm going to show you guys how I do the boys a spaghetti. I thought about just recording how I cook it for my kids. I know everybody cook. This is a dish people cook different ways. Even I cook it different ways sometimes, but this is how I'm going to cook it tonight. And I thought I'll just show you guys as I do it. Now this is some bell peppers and onions that I had already previously prepped and cut up. So I am just going to dice these into smaller dices. Smaller pieces, should I say. Now I use red pepper onions in mine. You guys, you can use any kind of onions that you choose to use. I've used yellow onions as well. This is just what I have prepared. If you see me noticing me keep looking up out the window and watching the boys outside playing soccer, so I am just keeping an eye on them while I prepare tonight's dinner and tomorrow's lunch as well, because it would be for tomorrow's lunch as well. Okay, I already put some butter into the pan, so I'm just gonna put the onions that I have chopped up. Now I'm going to do the bell peppers. Okay. I am going to let these saute. Get them on the gotta get more paper towel. I use paper towel when I cook, you guys. So I'm going to get this over here to the stove. And I'm just going to saute it up a little. Going to put some black pepper. Oops. Some garlic powder. In there, and then I'm going to mix this up. And let those saute for a while. So I put garlic powder and black pepper in here, and I'm going to just mix it up. And then I'm going to go and add I love this stuff, guys. If you haven't used it, try it. It really enhances the flavor of your food. I love it. So I'm going to let them saute, and then I'm going to get the hamburger meat and brown it, and then I will also brown the sausage. Let those simmer and, you know, saute down until they're real soft. Okay, now I'm going to start the water for the noodles. I try to fill the pan the pot at least halfway full. I'm going to turn the eye on high because I really want this water and stuff to go ahead and get hot and boil. I'm going to put butter in for the water, and then once it starts boiling, I will add the noodles. I will add those and get those done. I am going to finish sauteing this up and get this out of the pan so I can start browning the ground beef. So, y'all, I forgot to add my garlic. I normally saute that in with that as well, but I forgot to add it, so I'm going to saute that last after I finish doing everything and adding that into the pot as well. But yeah, that's the step that I forget. So I'm going to cover this up with just a paper towel, and then I'm going to put the meat into the pan. I've rinsed it out. I didn't thoroughly clean it because I still want that seasoning from that to be in there, even though I drained my meat. I always add, this is just something that I do to soften it up. I just add a little water. Add it to the pan. And I'm going to add a little meat tenderizer. I'm going to add my soul food seasoning. Black pepper. And of course, and then I'm going to mix it up, you guys. I'm sorry, you guys. I only got one hand, so I'm going to try to mix this up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I got it broke down, so I'm just going to mash it. I like to make sure it's crumbled up really fine. And I do just mash it. I don't stir it or anything because I try not to scrape the bottom of my cookware as well. But I just mash it down and try to break it up. As you see, it crumbles. So, yeah. And then I just stir it after it's all broken up. Make sure it cooks thoroughly. I really let it cook for a while because I have a fear of raw beef, ground beef, giving it to my kids. So I let it cook for quite some time. I'm sorry I can't really tell you guys how long, but I know I let it cook down quite a bit. I mean, until it's like brown all the way through, crumb up through. I'm going to turn the eye down a little bit because it is really it's the craziest thing. I'm really going to switch eyes because for some reason on this stove, this eye get really hot really fast. Like you can have it on medium. You see where I got it and you see how hot it gets. But this one, I have it on high and it doesn't get as hot. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it, why it's like that, but I'm starting to think I be using the wrong setting over here on this eye because I see over here. So I'm going to try and use this high and see what it does. Because I never used that high. I just realized that, y'all, I done had this thing for a few years now. And I just realized I never used this high over here. I always use this side. So maybe that's why it doesn't get as hot. If you guys know, let me know. Comment below. Just let me know. It's crazy. I know I should read instructions, but I don't. They brought it in and I just assumed that I know how to work a stove. I mean, you work one, you work them all, right? But I guess not, huh? So, a lesson learned. But yeah, I'm going to finish browning this meat, and then after this, I will drain it real good, and I will show you guys the process that I do. But the sausage will be browning after I finish this ground beef. I'm going to let it cook some more I like how it's broke down. It's broke down good enough, so I'm just going to let it finish browning a little bit more. And the water hasn't started boiling yet for the noodles, but hopefully it will be hot and boiling in just a second. Okay, y'all, it's been about, I'll say about 2 minutes. I'm still letting it brown. I am going to turn the eye down to like on 4. I am going to do that. I'm going to continue to let it brown until I like for it to really continue to cook through and brown until my noodles are completely done. And I'll show you guys why, because mainly my strainer that I have, I don't like to put the noodles in it. I like to do the noodles, drain the noodles first, then the meat, if that makes sense, because it's just better. Noodles are okay, it's fine. It's just mainly water and butter that you're draining out. But with this, it's the grease, it's the fat, and all of that. So to eliminate me having to clean it, like really washing and clean it before I drain the meat, I just do the noodles first, let the meat continue to brown until the noodles are done, drain the noodles, and then the meat. So that's how I'm going to do it this time, because that's how I always do it. So the water is starting to boil. So I take my noodles, I keep them in this like cereal container or whatever kind of container size it is. I just keep them in here. I want one of the slim, small ones, but I just been working with this one. It's fine. Now that the water is boiling, I take my noodles and I get a handful of them out of here and I just break them in half. I break them in half and I drop them into the water and I immediately try to stir it up. So yeah, you guys, the water is boiling, so let me get the noodles in now. Okay, this is the sausage that I am going to brown up. I had got this for 2 for $9 at Winn-Dixie. So I'm going to brown this up. I'm going to strain the noodles and get those into the pot. Okay, y'all, I got the noodles off of the stove. This is my strainer that I was telling you guys about, the white plastic one. So I'm just going to pour the noodles over in there. That's how I do it. I shake it, get all the water off. Of course, the noodles are gonna slide through, but nothing really major, nothing that you're gonna miss. And then there you have it. Now it's still kind of clean, so the only thing I have to do is just rinse it off and get it ready for the ground beef. That's why I like to do the noodles first. Okay, and then when I do the noodles, I always immediately go ahead and pour 1 can of sauce on top of the noodles. I add water. I immediately go ahead and add 1 can of sauce. I'm not really sure if y'all caught that or not on that. I'm sorry if you didn't. But I add 1 can on top of the noodles. As soon as I finish draining them off, I add water to the can, just a little. Shake it around, get the rest of the sauce out, and pour it on top. Now I will get the ground beef. I'm going to pour that in, and I'm going to rinse this pan. I want to let the meat drain while I rinse the pan to get it ready for the sausage. And that's extremely hot water, y'all. It's still, you know, bacteria and germs and mess. So, I'm gonna wipe it out. And I'm going to add the sausage to the pan and get it on the eye. So that way, while I'm doing this, it can be browning as well. Okay guys, I'm gonna show you just like I did the, and just so you know, I am washing and cleaning these in the process of using them on different food items as well. Just so you guys know, because I don't want to get tore apart on YouTube. So, yes, I just break it up just like I did the ground beef, and I just let it start cooking and doing this thing. I turn the eye back up. So I'm just gonna let it cook and do its thing. I'm really not going to season this because I will be seasoning the spaghetti more, so I won't season the sausage. The sausage is browning. I'm doing it the same way that I did the ground beef. No, it won't mush down as easier. I'm not gonna lie and say it's easier because it's not. You really have to put some work in it to get it to separate, but it will do it. And as you can see, it's still a lot of pink, so I will continue to let this cook for quite some time. And just let it cook. I don't add any water to this because it makes, even though the ground beef does too, it makes its own, but for the sausage, I just choose to just let it do its own thing. So I don't add any water to the sausage. I just let it brown and just cook. Okay, if you guys can see, if y'all can see it, of how brown it is, that's how you want it to get brown. But that's how I like mine to get like brown. So I know it's done. See how crummy it is, just like the ground beef would be. Or the ground beef was. I mean, I like it too. I'm going to let that cook maybe for another 2 to 3 minutes. About 2 minutes. I'm going to let it cook for another 2 minutes or so. And then we'll be ready to finish putting the spaghetti together. Okay, this is the steamed corn in the bag that I purchased from Winn-Dixie. But I'm not going to steam it in the bag, you guys. I'm sorry. I just don't feel right doing it in the bag. So I am going to, this is my kitchen table. I'm going to cut it out of the bag and put it in the pot. And I'm going to cook 2 bags so that for tomorrow I won't have to cook the bag. It will be already done. And yes, my kids love corn, so 2 bags will be gone. I don't know what's wrong with my freezer, y'all. It over freezes this stuff. Like it really does. Oh! I just made a whole mess. But we got majority of it, so that's fine. And it's all cleaned up. I like to clean as I cook, so therefore I won't have a mess when I am done. So, and I always make a mess. I don't know why, but I do. I'm going to get the butter. And the sugar. Yes, there we go. And I'm going to add some sugar. And some butter. The sausage is done as well. And so I'm going to get them drained. Going to get it drained. And into the pot. And that is where my other can of tomato sauce will go in. And that's it. And now you just stir it all up. That's my oven that I preheated for the toast. You got, and I go ahead and add this as well as the bell peppers. And I'm going to add just a little of the garlic. Yeah, just about that much, not much. Because I also season it, so you mix all of that in. And I know it seemed like a lot, you guys, but trust me, this will get eaten in my household with my kids. This is how it looks when it's all mixed in together. So I'm going to get it put on the eye on low and get the corn put on as well. Okay, the spaghetti is on and I got it on low. And I'm just gonna add some black pepper, some more garlic powder, and some more acid. And I'm going to add this into the corn as well. And I'm going to add some garlic powder to the corn as well. And I'm going to get that on medium. Yeah, you just mix it all in. And just let it all cook together and let it just cook down a little and warm everything back up and just let it cook down and you're done. You are done. You have my Southern home. One version of my Southern home spaghetti. There you have it. Now I'm going to put the top on that and just let it cook down on low like it is. Let the sauce thicken up. Want to do that. I already gotta put the top on this. So I'm going to get the top put on that, and as the ice freeze it, that will break the liquid and it will steam with that. That's why I have it on low, so it can give it time to defrost and do that. So I'm going to get the top put on both of these. I'm also going to show you guys how I do my homemade garlic bread if I don't have any. Yeah, I picked up this bread. I showed it in my Winn-Dixie haul that we really like this bread, so I will be making it out of this. I already put foil in my pan. Just gonna spray my pan down. And I take the bread. As you can see, I got the bread down. And then I'm just going to take and add some garlic powder. Some mozzarella cheese. And I'm just gonna shake some Parmesan cheese on top. And there you have it. All right, the corn is breaking down, as you guys can see. And that's what I was talking about. If you can see the liquid, it was going to make its own liquid with the ice melting and the butter and stuff. It was going to make its own. So I just stir it around. Try to break it up best I can. And then I'm going to put the top back on and let it finish cooking down. I am going to add a little bit more black pepper because as I'm realizing, it doesn't seem like it's that much on it. Alright, got the corn cooking. The spaghetti is just chilling, just thickening the sauce up. And as you know, the garlic bread is in the oven. And the corn is done. So I'm going to turn it on low. Spaghetti is ready. I'm going to turn it on low, and I'm going to try to get the bread out of the oven. And there you have it. My homemade garlic bread. It normally looks better and be more cheesier, but as you see, I only had a little cheese left, so there you have it, you guys. Now I'm going to fix the boys' plate.